Welcome! This is Solopreneur Success Strategies, where we talk about mindset, your website, your brand, your social media marketing, your customers, how to sell to your customers, how to find your customers, how to talk about the skills and knowledge you need in your business, and free software and tools to help you save time, money, and be more productive, as well as strategy and systems here on Solopreneur Success Strategies. Welcome! Welcome, this is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies. And today, it's Mindset Monday, which is all about mindset for the start of the week to get you going for the stress and challenges of being an entrepreneur. And today, we're still talking about the willingness to learn new skills, of course, and knowledge as an entrepreneur. And it's part 9. So there you go. So let's go and talk about the mindset of the entrepreneur. Let's get it going. We can't stay too long. You got to get back to work, but let's just pause and remember why we're here. So the mindset of the entrepreneur, you have to have a positive attitude. You have to have the passion to be an entrepreneur. You have to be an action taker, embrace change, be determined, be willing to take failure's feedback, know your big why, your big picture, but be patient and an action taker, balancing the two of them. And we're on willingness to learn. And later we'll be talking about the willingness to listen and the willingness to share with others as an entrepreneur. And imperfect action is always better than no action, according to Jane Gardner. And as I mentioned, we've already had a look at positive attitude, passion, action taking, embrace change, persistence, failure, the big why, and patience. And you can go have a look at those on my YouTube channel at jgtips.com/YouTube. An entrepreneur needs to be open to learning every day because the internet changes so quickly that Facebook changes its logarithm. Google changes search. The tactics that work today are gone tomorrow. Better to learn strategies rather than tactics. The companies that were here today can be gone tomorrow as they're bought out by others. So always never rely on tactics. Try strategies instead. So you have to be open to learning new skills and knowledge. And we've been talking about the willingness to learn as a trait of the entrepreneur. A successful entrepreneur is willing to go and learn new skills because the internet changes so quickly. So what you have to do, and the way you do it, is incredibly simple, whether you're willing to do it. That's another matter, according to Peter Drucker. So always remember that you may be willing, but you may not find the time. So you have to get yourself organized. And so when learning something new, taking initial action is always great. It's always exciting to learn something new. I mean, that's the easy part, is to getting started on doing a new skill. But it's finishing the course and following through on what you learned. That's the hard part. Especially if you're a juggler. Sorry, it takes a long time to be a juggler. You have to practice. So you need to be accountable. You need to firmly hold yourself to your goal of getting it done. You can get an accountability partner. Myself, that was one of the best things I ever did. When I started back about a year ago, I got a couple of accountability partners. They wanted to get together every week and just go over how they're progressing. And what we found was that we were also very helpful with each other in discussing maybe new skills they might want to learn from each other, or just not thinking of certain things, or even just being so positive with them when you've had a bad week. Having an accountability partner is awesome. You learn a lot from an accountability partner. So I would totally recommend it. And I look forward every week finding out what their progress is, or if they had challenges and then maybe I could help them with them. Or maybe they could help me with my challenges, because no one understands the internet like someone else who's on the internet, for sure. It's very hard for your family and friends to understand when they're not doing the same thing that you are. So tell someone what you're going to do, what your goal is, what you're going to learn, and you're less likely to quit in the middle because you have to be accountable. Tell them your plans and your deadline for your goals. Just remember that deadlines sometimes can be changed, so don't get too hard on yourself about your deadline, but certainly keep going towards that deadline and you'll find you make progress. They'll keep you on track. They'll ask you how's it going every week if you want. You can do the same for them. They do their job just by listening to you. And I think that's the most important thing, is having someone who'll listen to you and your challenges. That's one great thing also about having an accountability partner. Just remember, it has to be someone who understands the internet if you're on the internet, because it's such a different world from the offline world. Also, they check in on a regular basis on your progress every week or every 2 weeks, whatever you feel you can do. And your accountability partner can be anyone. If you're just talking about certain things, of course, if you're going to be talking about the internet, it's good to have someone who understands the internet. It should be someone who has a positive influence on you and who's basically a positive person and who comes every week to see you and how you're doing and excited about what you're doing and being positive about what you're doing, even if you have challenges and don't actually progress as much as you thought you would. At least they're positive. And listen. They should believe you that you're going to follow through on your promise. And the best idea is to ask someone who doesn't have a vested interest in the process. So you don't want to have your partner in your business or your employee or anyone who's hoping to get the product or program or whatever else implemented by you for them, because they'll of course be under stress because you're not progressing maybe as much as they want. So if they have a vested interest, they can't give you unconditional support. So it's best to find someone else that you can doesn't have any interest in your process. They need just to be there to listen to you and your progress. So who? Well, not Mr. Turtle in the picture. Although sometimes it's always good to talk to the animals. You can declare it on social media to all your followers about your goal, especially in a group that's related to whatever progress you're going to make. For example, if you're going to be working on a program or working to learn a new training, and they are also doing it at the same time, they can help you be supportive or not be supportive, really. So sometimes social media isn't that great. But you can certainly write it down and make it into a challenge to yourself and obviously report back on your progress. You'll stay on track just to avoid comments that are negative when it comes to social media. And join an accountability group or forum related to your course. They'll, of course, introduce yourself and tell them what your goals are and what you're doing. And you'll, besides unconditional support, because they're also learning as well, you may learn tips and tricks to make more progress than you thought you would. So those are always good to be in a group that's learning together. You can be accountable to yourself. You can keep a journal. You can journal publicly on a blog on your progress, or else you could just write daily privately in a notebook. Writing it down lets you to see your progress and helps you to clarify your goals and what direction you want to go, and also helps, of course, with memory in your brain to remind you about what you've learned. And, of course, you can see what you're doing to reach your goals. The more accountability, the better. Write daily in your journal. Keep a running commentary on a social media site. Ask a friend to be an accountability partner. Draw support from an accountability group. The more support you get, the better. But I think that's a bit too much. I'm not sure I'd want to do all that accountability. I prefer to have the private accountability group myself, where you get together once a week and maybe to hang out on the internet through YouTube Hangouts or Skype, and just tell them how you're progressing, and they can tell you how they're progressing, and you can just have a chat, and maybe you'll find out about new things that help you as well in the rest of your business. So I hope that has been interesting for you, about learning that the entrepreneur always has to be learning. We've done about 9 episodes on that one and looked at some of the ways that you can learn fairly quickly while you're also running a business. And I think we'll go on to the next one next week, willingness to listen. I think that's what it was. So for those of you who don't know, I have a free workbook called From Learning to Business Success, and I have been using that for the learning section right now. And you can get it free at jgtips.com/learn, and it has plenty of obviously information that I've used, but also it has a workbook in there where you can put in a calendar and focus on deciding what your priorities are when learning, and I think it's been very useful to me. So it's jgtips.com/learn. And for those that you don't know, I have my Solopreneur Success Strategy channel at jgtips.com/YouTube, where you can look at some of the older mindset shows as well. And as well, of course, I have the Develop Your Success Mindset ebook, where you can also learn how to develop your success mindset by doing trainings and techniques. And that's at jgtips.com/smindset. So for those of you on audio, thank you for listening. And for those of you on video, thank you for watching. And next week, we'll be looking at the mindset of the entrepreneur on the ability and willingness to listen. And you know what? I've been talking about the willingness to listen for leadership for a couple of months now. And I think it's a real important asset as an entrepreneur. And so we might have several episodes on that one as well. So there you go. Hope I'm not overwhelming you, but hey, the mindset's the most important thing. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. This has been Jane Gardner at Solopreneur Success Strategies. Please go and subscribe at jgtips.com/programs, and also to find out about other programs as well over at jgtips.com/programs. And over there we have a free mindset magazine for you to check out at jgtips.com/mindset offer. So welcome. Thanks for listening. And I hope to see you again here tomorrow, as this is a 7-day-a-week show on mindset, your customer, getting your message out on social media and on your website, talking about strategies, talking about business systems, talking about all kinds of things, including the skills that you need as a solopreneur. So please come back and subscribe at jgtips.com/programs. Thank you.